The Gerudo, the very race that the Thief King and ruler of darkness, Ganondorf, hails from. The Gerudo are a tribe of all-female thieves who inhabit the Gerudo Desert. The first game that they appeared in was Ocarina of Time. In Ocarina of Time, the Gerudo were a reclusive race who let only those who proved themselves worthy into their gang. This changed in Four Swords Adventure. In that game, the Gerudo had a much more friendly relationship with the other races of Hyrule. Not much is known about the history of the Gerudo prior to Ocarina of Time, but what if I said there was actual evidence of the Gerudo's relationship to the other races in the game? If you've ever played Ocarina of Time, I'm sure you would notice that a certain object always comes up in almost every dungeon in the game. What is this object, you may ask? Well, it's the stone blocks with the Gerudo symbol on it. Now I know some of you may be rolling your eyes and whatnot, but hear me out. Have you ever wondered why these blocks appear throughout all of the dungeons except for Lord Jabu Jabu in Kakariko Well? Well, I believe that these blocks were deliberately put in these places by the Gerudo, not as an act of maliciousness, but as a gesture of goodwill. Now, I read on some forums stating that these blocks could be a part of Ganondorf's curse on each dungeon. Now, while it's certainly a possibility, I would like to bring up my own thoughts about the subject. I believe that the Gerudo helped construct each dungeon and the blocks are supposed to be part of the dungeons. Don't believe me? Well, let's take a look at the Fire Temple. In the Fire Temple, there are switches throughout the level that when hit, releases the trapped Gorons from their cages. These switches all have the Gerudo symbol on them. In fact, every switch has the Gerudo symbol. But why would these switches appear in the Fire Temple? There's no proof that the Gorons would allow the Gerudos to place switches in their temple. Well, let me prove that wrong. If you go to the Gerudo training ground, you'll quickly notice that one of the rooms have pillars that can only be found in the Fire Temple and can only be moved by the Goron hammer. Not only that, but in the Spirit Temple, there are some Armos with the Goron symbol on them. Coincidence? I think not. In the Shadow Temple, the Gerudo symbol doesn't appear on any blocks, but it does appear on that rotating device in the beginning of the dungeon. Not only that, but isn't it strange that the Gerudo know about the Lens of Truth, or the Eye of Truth as people call it in Ocarina of Time? Granted, it is stated in the game that a person can train their mind's eye in order to see the truth, so maybe the Gerudos had a similar method to the Sheikah for either thieving or spiritual purposes. One of the strange things is if you go into the water room in the Gerudo training grounds, you'll quickly notice that the water is blocked off by a time block. Now, hold on a minute. Why would the Gerudo have such a thing? The time blocks can only be moved and brought back via the Song of Time. The Song of Time was a well-guarded secret due to it being one of the keys to opening the Sacred Realm. So why would the Gerudo know about the song? Well, what's even more strange is that if you wear the Gerudo mask in front of the Gorons, almost all of them will not comment about it, except for Darunia. Darunia oddly states that he hates Gerudos. Now, why would he say that? Is it because Ganondorf sealed the Dodongo Cavern? If so, that's still not a viable reason to hate an entire race. While I don't have much evidence on hand, there is proof that the Gerudo were actually close not only to the races of Hyrule, but also to the royal family and sages. Think about it. The time blocks, I can assume, only come from the Temple of Light. And who runs that temple? Rauru, the Sage of Light. And like I said, they oddly know about the Song of Time. So either Rauru, one of the royal family members, a Sheikah, or even the previous Sage of Spirit told them about it. Not only that, but yet again, proof of such a relationship lies within the fact that the Gerudos have things that can only be found in the Fire Temple. Not to mention, their blocks and switches are in each temple. So if the Gerudo had such a great relationship with the people of Hyrule, why did it go south later on? Well, I believe it's because of the war in Hyrule. Let me borrow some lines from the Hyrule Historia. On page 84, it says this: "The war in Hyrule raged unabated for countless eras. The fighting was eventually quelled by the King of Hyrule, and the entire land was unified under his kingdom. This means even after the events of Skyward Sword, the war for the Triforce continued on until Ocarina of Time." Now here's the last line I want to use, and it's on the same page. "Ganondorf, leader of the Gerudo, the people of the desert, once again swore fealty to the King of Hyrule." Once again, meaning that yes, the Gerudo had a much more friendly relationship with the people of Hyrule prior to the war. Given all this, we can conclude that the Gerudo were close with pretty much everyone in Hyrule. That is, until the war in Hyrule took place. Given that the Gorons say nothing about the Gerudos, and that Darunia says he hates the Gerudos, this could mean that the Gerudos betrayed the Gorons in some way. Cause I have never known a Goron to hold such a grudge before. Well, this is all just my theory, so tell me what you think about it. Do you agree? Do you not agree? If so, leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this theory, please comment, like, and subscribe for more. Oh, also follow me on my Twitter, where all I do is spew nerdy crap.